I'm going to go over complete armor's level disassembly of this upper and lower receiver and the complete reassembly. One thing I'm not going to do is go over replacement of the sights, and I won't go over checking timing. First thing I'm going to go over is the field strip. Obviously the first thing you want to do is make sure that it's unloaded, magazine is out, lock the slide back, use this slide stop to keep it in place, and visually clear to make sure that it is in fact unloaded and empty. And we'll start by removing the slide. You make a nice fancy tool for this, but you don't actually need it. But to do a basic field strip, this button, push that in and rotate this from, as you're looking at the back of the gun, it'll be the right hand side of the gun, but from this view it'll be to the left. Push that in, rotate it so that that's clear and comes out. Once you have that off and set aside, next thing I'm going to do is take the upper slide off. To do that, this little button right here needs to be depressed, but you need to take the pressure off of the upper slide first. This is what you're removing, is the slide stop. By pushing the post, take the tension off the slide, line it up with the rounded off cutout on top of the slide, and it'll push right out. That comes off in one piece, and then the whole upper receiver comes off. And your recoil spring assembly pulls out. Once you have that out, go back to the front, rotate this back the other direction so that it will come off, set it aside, and your barrel will come out the front. And there you have a basic field strip 1911. Alright, the final step is to reassemble your upper and lower. Take your upper receiver, make sure that this is down and forward, slide the barrel into the receiver until it's fully seated. Take your recoil spring assembly, the rounded part of that fits on top of the rounded part of the barrel. Push it from the inside through the front and rest that on the barrel, and then this right here fits into the hole on the back of that guide. It'll just rest in there just like that. Once you have it that far, take your lower receiver, line up the grooves on the lower receiver with the grooves in the upper receiver, slide it all the way on. Okay, when you do it, make sure you've got nothing sticking up in the way, and just slide it all the way on. Alright, once you have it assembled this far, the slide stop needs to go in the slide stop hole. Now notice there's a square cutout, which is what locks the slide back. The round cutout is what this goes through. Faces towards the back. This little tab is going to fit into that square hole. This round post is going to go into that hole. If you look in there, you'll see things don't line up all the time. You need to move the slide around until you get those to line up. Once you get them lined up, get that slide stop started just by setting it down in there to make sure everything stays in place. Move the slide back until that round cutout sets on top of the square hole, just like that. And then the slide stop will push past that little plunger. If you get any resistance on there, you do the same thing you did when you were assembling the upper receiver. Push that plunger out of the way. Now if you look from the bottom here, you'll see that little detent is caught up on the underside there. Take a little tiny screwdriver if you're getting resistance, push down on it, and that should get it clear, and it'll push right into place. Down, take your little capture device, slide it down over to the barrel, and then this little tab goes straight down like that, so that it's off to the right as you're looking at it, to the left side of the gun. Once you have that on there, rotate that past the spring, back the other way. Take your button, place it over the top of the spring. Again, they make a fancy little tool for this, but it's not necessary. Depress that all the way, and then rotate this button, or this capture device, back over the top of that button, just like that, and then when you get it over, it'll snap into place. And then there's your completely reassembled Colt 1911 Series 80 Government Model.